Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about the first query that you need to write for Unit 4, Assignment 1. And that is, it says one query should be a simple one-table query with two criteria. It says using the OR row, name this one query 1. Okay, and so what you want to do before you start writing your query is to make sure that you have an idea of what you want to display and the criteria, right, that you want to use. So what you want to do is just open up your database and look at one of the tables. The one that you have to use for the assignment has two tables, employee and patient. And so it doesn't really matter which one you use, just pick one and take a look at it and see what's in there. So in this example, I'm just going to use this database here, which is different from the one for the assignment. But if I open it up and I look at it, I see, okay, I have first name, last name, street address, city, state, zip code, email, add to the mailing list, phone number, and other notes. And so what I want to do is to just look through there, decide what you want to display and what you want to search for. So just as an example of that, and again, it could be anything, but in this particular example, what I'm going to do is I've decided I'm going to display the first name, last name, and the city, right? So those are the three things that I want to have the query show me. So what I want to display. And then the criteria that I decided on is I want those customers who either have a last name of Smith. So if they have a last name of Smith, I want them displayed, or, right, who live in Garner. So I want anybody who lives in Garner or anybody who has a last name of Smith. And you might say, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, this is just an example, and we're just practicing writing queries. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, it could be anything like that. So here is the database. And so now I am going to go to Create, then Query Design. Click on that. And then whatever table you decided on in the assignment, it's either employee or patient, right? Just select that one and then click Add. You just need one for this first part, and then close this out. Okay, and I decided that I was going to display the last name, the first name, and the city. Right? So that's what you would do. Just go here through field and put those fields, select them from the drop down menu, the fields that you decided that you were going to display. Again, it's just your choice here. Just put some things in here. Okay. And then now I wanted to pick out customers who either had the last name of Smith. So right down here in criteria, right, I'm going to go in quotation marks, I'm going to put Smith. So that will display all of the customers, right, who have a last name of Smith. So I'm not done yet with our query, but I just want to run that and kind of show you what it looks like. So if I run that, it will come up and see here I have three people, right? All the last names all Smith, right? Okay, so that's what that will do. So now let's go back to design view. Okay, and so now there is something else that I wanted to do, right? I wanted to list all of the people all of the customers who are in Garner, regardless, right, of whether their last name was Smith or not. And we could go back and look, but it definitely did not do that. So what I need to do here is add Garner. And now here's where you have to be a little bit careful, right? If I add Garner here, what that is going to give me is going to give me all of the people who have, all of the customers rather, who have a last name of Smith and who also live in Garner. And I believe there's only one, so when I run this, right, I only get that one person in there. So that's not what I want. I want people who have a last name of Smith regardless of where they live, right? And I want all of the people who live in Garner, regardless of what their last name is. Okay, so that's not quite right, and that's a really easy mistake to make. What you need to do, right, on this one is move this down here to the OR row, and now that's what I want. If you put criteria here, it will give you those customers who have a last name of Smith and who also live in the city of Garner. But that's not what we want. We want all people who have a last name of Smith, and included in there, we also want all the people who live in Garner. So it needs to be, the second criteria here needs to be on the OR row to make that happen. All right, and now when I run my query, there I get all of the results, right? I get Jared Smith. He gets included because his last name is Smith. Jaleel Smith, right, gets included for two reasons, right? His last name is Smith, and he also lives in Garner, right? And then you can see here Samantha Ferguson gets included. She gets included, right? Not her last name's not Smith, but she gets included because she lives in Garner in there. Okay, and so that's exactly the results we want, right? And that's what it would look like on the design view. The main thing, the trickiest part to me is not putting Garner here, right, but including it down here because that's what they asked for.